Happy Valentine's Day! Woo, 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 woo. Wah, wah, wee, wah. It's Valentine's weekend, so get strapped in. Welcome to another episode of Tessa Tries. In this week's episode, we're discussing Valentine's Day. Guys, it was Valentine's Day yesterday if you've been living under a rock. And I want to celebrate it. I want to talk about it. How about that? So thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. Let's get into it. First and foremost, do I have a Valentine's? No, I don't. I do not have one. But that doesn't stop me discussing it. The good, the bad, the ugly. The only thing that kind of gets me with Valentine's Day is like, why is it like, love, buy all these cards, buy all these plants, buy all these chocolates. Like, hey, how about express your love in a poem? How about that? My general feelings on Valentine's Day are slay. Like, if you like it, get on board, get a card, do your thing. If you don't like it, you can stack it off. You don't need to do anything. The last few Valentine's Days, what have I done? I've gone out. Oh, well, actually, I had a bit of a tradition going with my friend Erin, and we used to go out and have a little boogie. Because what's more romantic than being with your friends? How about that? What's more showing love than dancing in a sweaty club with other singletons, all hoping you're going to find the one? Yeah, me and Erin used to go out on Valentine's Day. Last year, however, I think I was up north. Last year's Valentine's Day, I was single, #jobless. I was jobless. I didn't have a job. And I had no money and I was living at home. So Valentine's Day can't get much worse this year, can it? Let's be real. That was probably the peak low Valentine's Day, can't lie. It's only up from here. This year I am also back in Scotland and I'm actually celebrating my friend's engagement. And that's pretty epic. Celebration of love. I just think Valentine's Day doesn't need to be about you. Controversial opinion, doesn't need to be about you. So I'm going up to Scotland and I'm celebrating with my friend and we're going to have Prosecco and it's going to be really fun. We're going to be with our moms and I just think that's a really sweet way to spend Valentine's Day. What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? Anything fun? Do let me know. I used to, I don't know why I've just thought about this now, but I used to, when I was younger, my mum used to always get me something for Valentine's Day just to show her love, I guess. Pretty cute. She didn't want to be my Valentine. She wasn't being like, oh, let me be your Valentine. She just would get me some Love Heart chocolates or like just a little something. And I loved that. And when that stopped, I was pretty upset actually because I thought, let's keep the free chocolates coming. Do you know what I mean? If I can't get them any day, why not on Valentine's Day? They did stop, unfortunately. This year, I'm really hoping, praying someone will reveal themselves. I have actually a friend who is my friend's friend and I've now befriended. Hope you're listening, Ed. Hope you are loving the shout out. And he said that he would get me a Valentine's Day card this year. Now, he has actually been going on dates with a girl, so whether I'll get one or not it's touch and go. When this episode comes out, I'll know if I've got one or not. But I'm going to be pretty #disappointed, Ed, if I've not got one. So if you could make that happen, I'm manifesting it now. Get me a Valentine's Day card because I just think that's a bit of fun. Here's a question for you. When did Valentine's Day become like, you have to be with someone to give them a Valentine's Day card? I remember when I was at school, I used to make Valentine's Day cards for just boys I fancied. Oh my God, maybe I should do this year. Maybe I'll make a Valentine's Day card for someone. Watch this space. By the time this comes out, maybe I will have. Anyway, I used to I remember my friend coming over and we handmade cards for the boys we fancied in our class. Is that not so cute? Let's bring that back. Why do we not do that anymore? Maybe it's seen as kind of like stalkery. Like it's a bit weird now, like, oh, be my Valentine. I think that's quite sweet though. Well, I used to do that with my friend. And I remember in primary 2, which is when you're like, 7, 6, getting this Valentine's Day card. Me and my best friend Caitlin got them. And we opened them up. And there was love heart confetti in them. A lovely written note. It was so lovely. It was from a boy in our class who I really fancied. I think we #dated for a bit. I'm not sure what dating is when you're like 10. But I did go to his house once and we actually had a chocolate fondue. Very #romantic. I also remember we played hide and seek. We went on a double date with my best mate and his best mate. So young lovers. And we played hide and seek, and me and this boy hid in the same place. We hid in like between two doors. I don't know what that's called, but the bit in between two doors. And he farted. And I thought I was gonna die. What says romance? What is more romantic than being so comfortable with someone that you can fart in their face? How about that? He farted and it made the whole room steam up. And I thought, this is the end. I'm going to die at 7 years old in someone's house because they've farted in my face. I look back on that with fond memories. Anyway, hope that happens this year again. Anyway, he made a lovely effort to make this beautiful card for me and my friend. And I just think, absolutely bring that back. That's so sweet. Why has that disappeared? A boy in primary 6, get this, he made me a card, handmade card, beautiful. And he got me a necklace with a love heart on it. Isn't that so cute? I wasn't like his girlfriend or anything. By the way, this boy, what a gorge boy. He used to live really near me. The height difference, back then, height did not matter clearly because I was honestly probably the tallest in the year and he might have been the shortest in the year. It was like some sort of circus act, the small and the tall. Big cook, little cook, if you will. That's what it would have looked like if we were dating. But he was so nice and he got me this beautiful necklace and got me a handmade card. And what did I have to do for that? Did I have to kiss him? No. Did I have to show him any love or affection? No, I just got it because he just loved me. I think I really fancied him at the time as well. But let's raise the bar, guys. Why is no one doing this anymore? I think it's not cringe. I think make handmade Valentine's Day cards and I think send them to people you fancy. That's so cute. Bring it back. We're all digital these days. Bring back a handwritten card. That's what I say. How about that? Oh, yes. On the theme of my own Valentines, here's some Valentine's Day disasters I've had also. So when I was going out with my ex-boyfriend, he'd planned like dinner and then this like cocktail bar in Stirling, because that's where we went to uni. And I had lost my ID because I'm a fool. I'm an actual tomfoolery idiot. And for some reason, I was so anxious about going to this cocktail bar that I called them up and I said, hey, I'm coming later, but I forgot my ID. I'm 21, but like, can you just make sure I get let in? And they said, no, obviously not. You need to show your ID, you maniac. You should have just come in and just hope that we didn't ask you. And I said, well, yes. That would have been sensible, but I was so anxious. Anyway, so I ruined that part of the evening for us. And then we went to, I think it was like a Brewdog or somewhere. We had like a nice pizza and stuff. And I just wanted a big fat glass of wine. It's all I wanted. And I said, hey, can I get a big fat glass of wine? And they said, show us your ID. And I said, oh, I've not got it, I've lost it. And she went, oh, I'm so sorry. I wish I never asked. And I thought, I wish you'd never asked. How about that? Why? You've ruined my Valentine's Day. How about that? Well, she hadn't. I ruined it myself, but... Anyway, so we went, I had a Diet Coke and it was actually on the house because she felt so bad for IDing me, which, whatever, it's not your fault. You're just following the rules of the law, I guess. And then we went back to mine, I think, and then probably just like chilled or like 8 tons of Valentine's treats, maybe. 8 tons of chocolate, I guess. But I don't think it was really quite what the old boyfriend had planned. And I did put a little spanner in the work there. But that's just what you get if you date me. I will forget my ID and I will make us change plans. Sorry, that's just in my nature. I'm a forgetful queen. You either love it or you hate it, or you just get by, or you can just deal with it. You know, that's probably one of my red flags is my forgetfulness and my ability to lose anything. Literally, guys, if you want something lost, give it to me. I'll lose it for you. Like, I'm so good, it's scary. Another Valentine's Day disaster I had, I think was, I can't remember if this was Valentine's Day. I'm almost certain it was. I was in the senior school. I was in S1, so maybe like year 8 if you're English. And I got asked out on the front pitch. Oh yeah, you better bet your bottom dollar. I got asked out on the front pitch by said boy that had got me the necklace 3 years prior. Seemed he was still in love. And I was too awkward to say no because I think I'd moved on by then, unfortunately. And, you know, remember when you're young and people are like, ooh, like, pick me, choose me. Like, they get their friends to go up and and this person wants to ask you out, but like they won't ask you. God forbid they come up and ask you. And then you send your friends to be like, no, I don't want to do that. And I think, yeah, I had to do that. And it was just really awkward and sad. And I still feel quite sad about it. I don't. That's not even really a disaster, to be honest. I'm lucky I've not had many Valentine's Day disasters. I do remember once, I think I was just newly with someone and they were like, let's go out, let's send it on Valentine's Day. And I thought, oh, do you don't want to hang out with me? Like, why do you want to go to a sweaty club when you could be sat with me all evening? Make it make sense. Odd. Very odd. Anyway, let's move on to what my ideal Valentine's Day would be, because I think people have different opinions on what a Valentine's Day should be. Some people, for example, are like, give me roses, take me to the fanciest restaurant in Mayfair, spend tons of money on me, let's take 1 million Instagram photos and be done with it. That personally is not really my vibe, although, hey, do all that for me. I would obviously love it. I'm not a maniac. Spend money on me, sure. But I think this is my perfect day. This is just on a whim. I've not like thought about this really, but I'm just zoning in now. Wake up. It's Valentine's Day. Maybe like my boyfriend says, it's Valentine's Day, maybe, or something. Maybe he's dressed as Cupid. Don't think I'd want that. Cancel that. He wakes me up. He has a white iced Americano in hand and he says, hey, girlfriend, here's your drink. Brilliant. Okay, perfect. Maybe breakfast in bed. I'd love that. That'd be nice. I don't think have I ever had breakfast in bed? Who knows? Breakfast in bed. Then I assume I've probably got my job to go to, or like maybe it's the weekend. If it's the weekend, big fat walk. Maybe like go to a pub lunch, pints for lunch, as in not for 3 pints for lunch, liquid diet. No. Like a nice lunch, some pints, move on, dinner, get ready, we're going out. I'm not going to tell you where. And then do I like going out? Maybe change that. I once went out on Valentine's Day for dinner and it was to this really nice restaurant. It was like an Italian restaurant, but it's kind of awkward because when you go out on Valentine's Day, most other people around you are also on their Valentine's Day date. And it's a bit like, oh, we all know why we're here. It's just a bit like awkward. Do you know what I've got a bone to pick about? We'll come back to my perfect day in a second. I've got a bone to pick. Why are people getting engaged on Valentine's Day? Why are people getting engaged on Valentine's Day? Riddle me that. Or why are people asking people out on Valentine's Day? I'm pretty sure my friend, her anniversary is on Valentine's Day, and I think, you little rat. I don't think that. He's very lovely. If I'm thinking of the right people, he's very lovely. But I just think, oh, stop trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let the girl live. Let her have 2 days. Do you know what I mean? Make her feel special in 2 days. I bet that. Anyway, yeah, just don't, or when people do it on New Year or like their birthday or something, what are you doing? Realistically, there's about 5 days in the year where there's like a celebration. Do you know what I mean? Christmas, their birthday, your anniversary, and Valentine's Day. Is that it? Maybe if you celebrate Easter, hey, throw that into the mix. Maybe Halloween, who knows? But like, it's not that difficult to have different days for things. We don't need to combine the days. We don't need to be doing that. So if you're my future husband, don't do that, okay? Because I'll be annoyed and we will not remain together. How about that? Unless you're perfect, in which case we will. And you can do no wrong. Just kidding. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can annoy me somehow. Anyway, back to the perfect day. That was just a wee side segment. I like to call that a little side segment there. Back to my perfect day. Okay, we're getting ready. Where are we going? Somewhere fun. Maybe we're going out for dinner, or maybe we're just getting like a really nice takeaway. That would be fun. Oh no, do you know what I'd love? Someone to cook for me. Ooh, Tessa, we're going to have steak and chips. I'm going to cook it. You just sit back, relax, look fit. Fine. Fine, I'll do it. That I would love that. That would be nice. And then in the evening, I get gifted a card that expresses their love for me. That would be really lovely. Or maybe I want that in the morning. Don't know. I think my whole thing with Valentine's is I don't like how it's all gift based. Like, I want acts of service. Like the coffee. Obviously, that's a gift because coffee costs money unless they've made it themselves. Well, it still costs money, but... And like, a card costs money, but it's more like what's written inside. I don't want to Tessa, happy Valentine's Day. Love from your boyfriend. I want to Tessa, happy Valentine's Day. You make my world spin. You make my heart beat faster than like I'm being struck by lightning. Or wow, I'm a poet. That was so good. Wow, that was so good. Or like, ever since the day I met you, I felt like I'm floating around on the air because you're so brilliant. That's kind of the shit I want in my card. Okay, so take notes. Yeah, something like that, and then like love you forever, Jonty, or whoever the hell is proposing to me. Hopefully not Jonty. That's kind of what I want in my Valentine's Day card, I think. And then I think we end the night with some sweet treat of some description, maybe some wine. I'd love some wine during the day. Some rosé wine would be excellent. And then maybe we kiss. How about that? Thoughts on that being the most perfect Valentine's Day? I think like you've got an activity, you've got a nice walk, you've got some nice food in there. You've got some nice romantic time together, quality time, because you're in your house having your dinner. You've got acts of service. This is like touching all the love languages, I think, because you've got your acts of service. Maybe gift giving, maybe that's in there, sprinkled in there. And oh, physical touch. Hey, bit of that doesn't go amiss either. Do you know what I've realized is maybe the best thing in the world, and we should talk about more? It's like, you know, when someone, like you're on a date or you're on like a first date or like you're getting to know someone and then they touch you, not in like a creepy way, obviously, just like a touch on the leg or like touch on the arm, and you're like, whoa, like your whole body is like, whoa, exciting. Anyone get that? Anyone get that, or am I a massive virgin? Anyone else feel that? It's just like the electricity. You're like, wow, this is so exciting. Maybe it's just me, but I think that's pretty good. Also, can we talk about everyone's love languages? Because what is yours? Mine, I think, is quality time or acts of service, because I am a real scatterbrain. And even in my friendships, I really appreciate this. My friend Erin, should I just dedicate this whole episode to Erin? Because fucking hell, I've spoken about her so much. But she is really good at doing acts of service. So like, I'll be really stressed about something and she says, hey, what can I do to help? And she'll help that situation. Or I'm like, oh my God, I've got a million parcels to return. And she'll be like, right, get the labels, let's go. Like, we're going to do it together. And that's what I need in a partner. I need someone that can just help my scatterbrain be less scattered. And in return, I can be a gift giver. I can be a quality time giver. I don't mind. I think I personally like giving quality time. Is probably my biggest one. I'm not really an acts of service. I like to get acts of service, but I'm not really an active service person. I wish I was, but I don't feel really that useful. I like, words of affirmation. I feel like I'm quite good at. I love writing a nice card with lots of affirmations, maybe lots of nice words. But what's yours? Because some people are like, oh, I like receiving gifts. Okay, everyone likes receiving a gift. Like that's not, I don't think that can be your love language, being like, I love when I get gifts. Like, it makes me love the person so much. I find that really peculiar. And if that's you, you must explain to me why that is, because I don't really understand it. I love getting a gift, of course, but I don't need a gift. I need assurance. I need words of affirmation. That's what I need. Now, this year, Valentine's Day, I am quite intrigued to see like who's posting on the stories, what Valentines are going to come out the woodworks. You know, people always post like, I was a real guilty for this. I used to love posting like, I'm so in love with you. And I'd post like my boyfriend and be like, love you so much. But I love seeing everyone's stories and being like, who's posting, who's not posted. Is it a sign? Is it not a sign? Like, what's it about? Is there a soft launch on Valentine's Day? Love it. Love it. Also, what do we think about soft launches? Recently, I've been thinking about them a lot more because I find them really fun. I kind of love when celebrities do it and I'm like, ooh, who is it? Like Sophie and Cinzia, when they did it, I was like, show me the man. But sometimes when it's someone I don't care about, I think, I honestly don't give a shit that Brian's finger is in that photo. Like, you could tag Brian for all I care. I don't care that you're going out with Brian. So why are you soft launching him? Just hard launch that dude. I don't care. Or like, Melinda's got flipping Phoebe on her story and it's like, ooh, like, her arm. I don't care. Put it on your story. But then there's some people and you're like, whoa, you're at dinner, 2 glasses of wine. Who's the other glass for? Is it your friend? Is it your girlfriend? Is it your boyfriend? Nobody knows. And sometimes I do like the mysteriousness of it, the allure, you know, who's going to be. But sometimes I think, oh, shut up. Like, I don't care. So really it just depends on the day you catch me, I guess. I think Valentine's Day is super interesting when it comes to single people and people that are in relationships, because I feel like when you're single, I remember one Valentine's Day, me and my friends did like Galentines, which super fun. And I remember my friends who were taken or in relationships drove around and dropped off like a big hamper of like sweets and chocolate and stuff and were like, happy Galentines, because they were not invited to the Galentines, which looking back is kind of harsh because like, obviously you're in a happy relationship, you don't need to be there, but also like you are the gals and it's celebrating like girl friendships. So I'm not sure why we did that, but they dropped off tons of sweets. And I remember being like, yeah, let's go. Like sweets and chocolate. Augustus Gloop over here was loving it. However, some of my friends I think were like, oh, that's so patronizing. Like they're in a relationship and they think we can't find love. So they were giving us chocolate. I just saw the chocolate orange and I thought, hello, get in, crack that on the head. Give me a segment of that, please. So what do we think about that? Do we think, like, is that cringe? Do we not think? I love celebrating Galentines now, just like friends, like all getting together. And I think we should include the taken ones as well. Because you never know when they're going to break up. They often do break up. So you need to include them in the Galentines as well, I think. And this is what I love about girls. Like, we all just celebrate friendships so much more than boys. Boys just don't. Valentine's Day, it just doesn't ring off, it doesn't flow off the tongue like Galentines. I remember one year as well, we did Galentines in my uni flat. I think 2 of us were in relationships, 2 of us weren't, but we just like celebrated anyway. And it was so fun. We like blew up balloons, we got all dressed up. Looking back, maybe this is sad. Is it sad? Is it fun? You can tell me. And we just had a great time. We like got drunk. We had this picture. It was kind of like a hen party. We had a picture, or it was like a cartoon man, like, boo. And I think you had to stick his penis on. I think you had to do that. I had to, as if I was forced against my will to stick a willy on a man. Anyway, you had to do that, and then you get like, you know, oh, where is it? Like pin the tail on the donkey, but pin the penis on the man, I guess. So maybe I should start bringing back Galentine's Day. I think it's really fun. I like that we do it. Maybe I'll try and make something happen in the office, just like for the office love, rather than individual people, just like, you know, the love of the office. Woo. Maybe everyone will say, Tessa, shut up. Don't do that, which is probably going to be the answer. But again, you'll find out after this pod's been released what happened. I'll update you, don't worry. I think as a single person, sometimes it's interesting. Like, it's fun being like Galentines, but then some people are like, I'm single again. It's Valentine's Day. I'm single again. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, how about reap the rewards? How about freaking go out, live your best life, and be glad that you've not got some bum at home who's not taking you out for dinner, and you should be thankful. You got to look at the silver linings, guys, because sometimes people have Valentine's Days and they're really rubbish and they're like, oh, I'm in a relationship. This is meant to be such a happy day. And it turns out being even worse than when you're just single. So I think be single on Valentine's Day, guys. If you want any advice from me, it's probably that. Or set the expectations low, because I think people set expectations way too high for it. I've definitely done that in the past. And I think, why? We should never set our expectations too high, actually, for anything, I don't think. Like, keep them high. You want the bar to be high, but don't go crazy with them. You know, don't think that elephants are going to fly in on balloons and give you a Valentine's cake and, you know, someone's going to pop out. That's not going to happen. Maybe. It might. I don't know who you know. It could happen. But I think we need to keep the expectations low. When you're in a relationship, I think it's quite funny because some people are so like, blah, we don't care. Like, we've been together for so long. We don't care. Like, we barely even get each other a card. I think still get each other a card. I think that's the minimum we should be doing. But some people are like so nonchalant. I don't care about Valentine's Day. Yeah, because your boyfriend or girlfriend has not got you anything and they don't want to do that. And now you're having to act like you don't care when really you do care. And that's a shame. I remember my flatmate Cami, shout out, she always used to say, like, I don't know if this is an American thing, but it was like you had to ask someone to be your Valentine. Like, even if you were going out with them, you still had to be like, will you be my Valentine? And her boyfriend kept not doing it. And we'd be like, can you hurry up and ask? Just all you have to do is ask, and that's going to make her happy. Anyway, he must have started asking because they're married now. Congratulations, happy couple. Happy for you. Miss you, love you. Anyway, what do we think about that? I personally don't need someone to say, will you be my Valentine? But what I would love is a card from a stranger. Ed, I want a card from you. Give me a card, please. Oh, I'm being such a bag. I don't actually need it. I don't actually want it. But I do think bring back giving cards to people for not even like, you don't need to be in love with them, but just it's just fun, isn't it? You're hot, here's a card. You're fit, here's a card. You're lovely, here's a card. You're incredibly intelligent. Here's a card. Look under your chair. There's a card. Whoa. I think that's fun. I work with you. Here's a card. You're my postman. Here's a card. Maybe that's too far. Maybe it gets weird. But I think we should all just be celebrating love in a general sense rather than making this day so important to show your love to your partner. How about show your love to your partner every day? How about show your love to your friends every day? Just a few thoughts. Just a few thoughts. How about that? Here's another thing, not really to do with Valentine's Day, more just to do with love and yearning. When did this go out the window? Like, why are we really begging for the bare minimum? Like, why are we not really texting back? Why are we not writing love letters? Why are we not writing poems? I think we should bring back the art of poem writing. I think that's so much fun, and I would love someone to write me a poem. I remember when I was in primary 4, this boy I fancied who'd gassed me with his farts. I wrote him a poem, which looking back on is mental. It's giving obsessed. And it was like, oh, I wish I could find it. I'll try and find it for a different app. It was like, you sit next to me and I fancy you. You looked at me. I'm as wet as Mountain Dew. It wasn't that. I was literally like 10 years old. Didn't say that. That's gross. And then it was like, basically just saying, oh, I fancy the person next to me in class. And like, he looked at me once and I like fancied him. Then we move on to the next paragraph and it's like, a year later, a baby was made. Oh, what? Then it's like, the next paragraph is like, a year later, we've got this child together. And it's like, will they be an astronaut? Will they be a dancer? Who knows? The answer. And it was like, what are you talking about? And I brought it into class and I got my teacher to read it out. By the way, I sat beside the boy, so it was obvious who it was about. Why did I do that? Why did I think that was a good idea? Like, that's kind of crazy looking back. But it was just the separation from the first verse, which was so chill, so like, oh, I kind of fancy this boy in my class. Next one, we're married, we've got kids, we're in love. Like, you're locked in, brother. You're freaking locked in. Feels a bit too aggressive for love. Love doesn't need to be aggressive. It can just be a slow burner, you know? But I really just went in. Really went in. Yeah, very turbulent relationship that, you know, to and fro. I fancy him. He doesn't fancy me. He fancies me. I don't fancy him. That boy is now doing very well for himself. He's got a girlfriend, so he's in love. So we're all happy. We're all happy. This is going to come out on the Sunday, as I've said, but I will have already had Valentine's Day. And I'm going to say it now. I think it's probably going to be epic. I think I'm going to be at home. I'll maybe go to the cinema. Maybe that's a great idea. I'll be with my parents. They're in love, so that's cute. I can steal a bit of their energy. And yeah, I'll probably be pretty freaking happy, to be honest with you. Hopefully, I would love to receive just like a random card. I think that'd be so fun, but I just don't know if that's in my future. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, this has been Tessa Tries. I hope you've absolutely loved it. Please do give it 5 stars. Give it some love because it's Valentine's Day, Valentine's weekend. And roses are red, violets are blue. Watch Tessa Tries. Maybe on the loop. That was just off the cuff. I just made that up. Roses are red, violets are blue. First one to comment, I'll get a tattoo. What? Roses are red, violets are blue. Give me a kiss and I'll kiss you. How about that? Roses are red, violets are blue. Watch Tessa Tries. Or I'll do voodoo on you. Hated that. Hated that. I don't know what, where, who did that. Anyway, goodbye. Think I gotta leave now. Goodbye.